Derek's mother was tragically murdered on her birthday in 2013. Her murder was featured on episode 8 in season 15 of The First 48. So Derek, thank you for joining me today to share your story. As we know, your mother was murdered and it was featured on an episode of The First 48. How old were you when your mother was murdered?
I was 20 years old when my mother was murdered.
And how old was she?
She had just turned 41.
And can you just give us a little bit of background about what happened, how it escalated to that point, and how your mother's murder ended up being televised on The First 48?
So this happened on August 16th, 2013. It was her birthday. And like anybody else, they want to celebrate their birthday. My mother wanted to celebrate her birthday. And she chose to go out, basically to the bars and lounges in Cleveland and have fun with her friends. So, from my understanding, from what I know, she was out having fun with her friends and leaving the bar. She got into an altercation, a verbal altercation. Things escalated, and from the video, from First 48, my mother was shot and killed. I really don't know the details why they was arguing, how the verbal altercation started. All I know is my mother was shot and killed.
Okay. Were you familiar with anyone that was involved with the altercation?
I wasn't familiar with the guys who actually was charged with the killing. I was not at all familiar with them. I knew of some of the friends my mother was with that night, but other than that, I didn't know them at all.
Were you able to attend your mother's trial? And if so, were you offered an opportunity to speak and say anything?
I was incarcerated. So how it was, my mother was murdered August 16, 2013. And 2 months later, October 16, 2013, I was incarcerated. So time passed and the court proceedings took place with my mother's murder and whatnot, and I was incarcerated the whole time throughout that. So I wasn't able to speak. I wasn't able to be there with my family. I just heard everything happened through word of mouth and through the phone, through my family, conveying the message about what happened, things like that.
Wow, that must have been really hard. Were those men that were involved, were they given a prison sentence? And if so, are they still serving their prison sentence now?
Yes, they actually didn't go to trial. They pled guilty to the charges, and one was given, from my understanding, 18 to life. That was the shooter, and I guess his co-defendant was given 15 years. So one has to go to the parole board, and the other has an out date, which once he completed the out date, he'd be released.
So you've shared with your audience that you were mostly raised by your Big Ma, and I think that anyone who has taken part in becoming a part of your audience has fallen in love with Big Ma. We all have a lot of admiration for her. Were you living with Big Ma when your mother was murdered? Were you living out on your own, or were you living with your mother?
So let me make things clear. Big Ma is my grandmother's mother on my father's side. So she's my paternal great-grandmother. Big Ma did not raise me. My grandmother, which is Big Ma's daughter, raised me, which is my father's mother, actually raised me growing up. My grandmother, I'm talking about, she's in the nursing home because she had caught COVID and was dehydrated and is trying to get her health back together. That's why she wasn't on the TV show. She would have been on the TV show if that wasn't the case. Actually, it's a clip where I went to go see her and whatnot, but they didn't show me inside the nursing home, whatnot. But Big Ma basically is like the monarch of my family. Like, she's very, how can I say this? Very instrumental in our family foundation. So, like, I always say, like, she's the last resort because she's always going to say yes. She's never going to say no. And when it came time for me to be released from prison, because my grandmother was in the situation she was in, recovering, I knew I can go to Big Ma. Not saying she didn't raise me, because Big Ma had daycares in the city of Cleveland. Not just one, not just two. She had big daycare, so she was a teacher of mine. And with her having the daycares, she taught many kids, Cleveland, East Cleveland, and surrounding areas. So she's well respected and well known for the things she have done in the community.
Thank you for clearing that up for us. And as far as your grandmother and Big Ma are concerned, what role did they play in helping you process your grief and through the grief process?
I ain't gonna say kind of, but it was real tough. You know, I was dealing with facing time, then grieving, and then things I was going through prior to that. So it was a lot to deal with. I can't say one person helped more than the other. It all played a role. Like, a lot of solitude helped me get through it, because I was, like I said, I was out roughly a couple months until I got locked up to grieve a little bit with family, free. Like, my grandmother, my Big Ma, my aunt, rest in peace, my other aunts. A lot of my family was there, brothers and sisters, everybody was there. But for the most part, I had to be the strong one. I had to be the one to be the strength in that time, because that was always been my role, to be the one to keep the family together, to make sure everybody is strong. Like, just being strong through all that, I had to be the one to do that. I had a time where I had to grieve, I cried.